Hello, it's me again. I'll just point you down there. Again, kind of impromptu. I wasn't sure I was going to do anything today. But there were a few things to follow on from yesterday. I need to test that CD32, and I was going to do that with the TF330 actually. I've still got the TF330. It was a competition prize from a previous stream. Alan Gulliver has not got back to me, so I'll give him another month. Now I've done a shout out here, but I've contacted him a few times and had no reply actually. One sec. I'm just trying to get the chat up here on my laptop. I'm not quite sure why it's not coming up. So what you've all been up to today? I've been washing the wife's car actually. Had no choice, she started washing it and couldn't get the bird muck off it, so I said, oh, don't worry about it, I'll finish it for you. And yeah, it just ended up a chore. I was out there for about an hour. Nearly there guys, just going so. Anybody else joined? Just going to pop out the chat. Yeah, so here's the, I'll move you forward, you can have a close look at the board. I'll just talk a little bit about what I've done to this since. You can see that bit there. I'm not sure if you'd have seen that. The eagle-eyed, when we were looking at the thing side on here, it was wedged in there between all of the pins. I don't know what it is, it's just a bit of dirt. Anyway, so I finished cleaning this up yesterday. You know, I went over it with the cotton buds and stuff. It's had a bit of a clean on both sides. So we'll test that in a second. But there was also that Cumana disk drive I was going to do a follow-on to. It's only going to be a short video. I mean, I always say that, but I do think this one will be a short video because I haven't really got much to cover here. But the things I'm going to do, and I thought, well, if I'm doing them, why not share them? It's not really going to be worthy of a video on its own right in terms of, you know, time to edit these things. Sometimes it's easier to share this way, I think. So this was the other drive that Tom Meads sent me. You can see I've written on there, failed ICs, and put a cross on it. I had a look at this yesterday off camera. I'll just see if I can, I'll just take the 3 screws out of this just so I can show you what's what with it. So this isn't the Commodore drive, this was just the internal drive that Tom threw in as well and said you can keep this one as well. Someone's previously modded it and it's a fail. And I'm inclined to agree with that. I think what had happened is someone had wired a few things incorrectly here. Let's just see if I can just get that face to clip through there. Oh, a bit of a pain these to get to pieces, these Sony drives. There we go. So you can see I've put these wires on here. This wire here was missing, and can you see that they've done some damage here? This was damaged previously. Someone had already cut the track here that goes to pin 34. So they'd started to do the mod, but there were no wires. These 2 wires were not on here. What was happening, there was I think this wire here had a piece of bare copper wire shorted to this pin. It wasn't soldered on, it was just like some stray wire that had been pulled off from something at some point, left on there and had shorted to the pin next to it. So as you might remember when we tested this the other day, the LED was just on all the time. So that was a bit of a clue that there was something very wrong with it. But after having cleaned up all the stuff around there, making sure everything is correct, and put these 2 wires on to make it Amiga compatible, because this is like an MPF10 9 something, is it? A 920, is it? It's the same as the other one I showed as well, which does work. So it should work, but it doesn't. It does exactly the same thing. The LED comes on, and straight away, if you put your finger on that there, it's so hot it burns your finger. And it's the same with that one. Both of these ICs get incredibly hot. There are no shorts where there shouldn't be anywhere around there. Everything looks fine. You can tell someone's been you know, reflowing 1 or 2 of these things in the past here, but there are no obvious causes for this at all. It's just those 2 ICs are red hot, and I think it's and some of the points here had been soldered previously, which makes me think that someone's wired something completely wrong there at some point and killed it. You know, they fed like, I don't know, 12 volts, or, well, maybe not 12, they could have done from the power connector somewhere on here, but they fed 5 volts into something where they shouldn't have done, and it's killed both of those. So Sadly, that drive is the first drive I haven't been able to repair. I mean, in theory, I think I could repair that. If I could get those ICs there, I could repair it. But what's the point? They're going to come off another drive. I'd be better off just keeping this drive for spares. And if I come across another the same Sony model that's you know, going to be got faulty heads or faulty motor, just swap those bits or other switches. You know, you can take the switches off this and use those. Yeah. So welcome to anybody who's been joining. Thank you. Let's change into hang on, live chat. I always leave it on top chat and then I miss a lot of messages. So hi guys, hi Starlight, Spider-Man Gavenport, hi, greetings. Mike Simcox, Spitfire RF, hi. Mercury Vapor, Beeps, nice to see you again, Beep. Brian, hope you're okay. ZX Renew, hello again. I just mentioned ZX Renew to Stephen Leary actually. He was looking for some parts for a Spectrum, a label I think, you know, the rainbow sticker or whatever it is for one, but he was talking about a Plus, not the 48K. So I think it was just like the rainbow coloured bit. I'll probably show you in a minute if I can find that Spectrum, the rainbow artwork that's on the bottom corner of it. I think his is a bit worn. I suggested just going away looking for like a sticker set or something off eBay, and I did find there was a guy selling like Sinclair stickers with that rainbow band on the side of it. And he did say on the advert that he would, if you let him know your requirements, he can scale it to size. So I thought if Stephen got one of those scaled to the exact size he needs, he could literally just cut the rainbow part off and then stick that on his Spectrum Plus. It's not as good as when it's painted, obviously, but if you did a tidy job cutting it, it would be a nice replacement for that rainbow paint band there if the paint's worn away. And the other obvious thing you could do is get some acrylic paints and mix some of the colours to get the exact colour you need for the bits that are missing on the thing there, and then just touch it up with acrylic paint, a bit like I did with the black on there. The other thing for the eagle-eyed, and it's not this isn't the drive, it's the same as the other drive. On the other video, you'll have noticed when we saw that external drive from the front, this little clip here was not under the fascia. Because this is exactly the same model, the same thing has just happened there as I put that on. But anyway, so that is just, you know, failed ICs, just, you know, spare heads, spare motors, spare switches, etc. Can't release a bit off topic from each project. Would you be willing to reproduce a Nintendo Game Genie, this functionality with the Nintendo top loader, as those converters are extremely expensive? Yeah, we could have a look at that. It might be interesting. File 1976. Hi Gadget, hi. Hello all, hi. Mutant Caterpillar have them, I think. Ah, okay. Yeah, so if Stephen does watch this at some point, check out Mutant Caterpillar's website. Did you already have recapped your CD32? I have done it in two weeks ago. No, I haven't. So I haven't done my CD32 yet. I've got a cap kit. I'll just show you the cap kit. It's a different cap kit. The cap kit we used for this one that came with this board from Tom Meads was an Amiga kit cap kit. Which one's which now? Here we are. This one's the CD32 cap kit from Retro Bench. So this was a donation to the channel. What I like about this versus the Amiga kit one, you've got these really nice diagrams here telling you which colours, you know, it's like colour coded, so you know which cap goes where. It's got the different revisions there, the main two revisions that you're likely to come across. So that's really nice actually. Yeah, so we'll have a look at that when I do mine. I'll probably do that as an edited video rather than do what we did for this and spend, you know, an hour and a half removing the caps and then an hour installing the caps. It's a bit boring on a live stream, isn't it? So I'll go into more detail when we come to do that. And as I've also mentioned, and that might be the next thing this might be the next thing I do, I've got a 1200 cap kit here as well, again from Retro Bench. So again, a nice picture of the board there with the caps. There's not as many, is there? There's not as many. I think there's more of the caps down the other side of the board here. This is not showing everything. But yeah, so we'll have a look at that. I want to do that anyway, because as I described the other day, I've got a fault, I think, with my 1200 that's been there for a long while, ever since I got it. And I've never noticed it, because I've only ever really used it on the scaler. And the scaler's got RGB adjustments on it. And I probably inadvertently tweaked the red to compensate for what I think is an issue with the red. actually, but we'll have a look at that. I did have someone kindly suggest that he'd seen that before and it was probably capacitor turned into a resistor due to corrosion. Now, unless it started miraculously corroding in the last 6 months, which it could have done, I think not, because it's always been like that. I remember trying it a few years ago on a SCART on this TV in here, it looked a little bit pink, the colour. Smooth NJ, hi Malk, nice to see you. Afternoon, young Chris. Yeah, I wish I wasn't young. Amiga Wolf, okay, looks great cap kit. I use pliers to remove the caps, works great. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I had a few people following on from yesterday saying, rather than use hot air and expose things to additional heat there, just cut them off. You know, just literally cut them off. And, you know, some people say use pliers to twist them. I wouldn't twist them because when you twist, you're getting that centrifugal force, aren't you, on the pads? You know, the pads are literally being pulled away from each other. But if you were to cut, you know, I've talked about this so many times, if you were to cut straight into one of these caps in the orientation where the pads are like that, yeah, you're still kind of pulling the pads towards each other. So if they had corroded there, you're gonna potentially, you know, some risk there. But in terms of doing it quickly, if there's no corrosion, that's probably the easy way. Just go snip, 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 snip them all off, and then just remove the legs. So I'll probably do that on mine. We'll do that. We'll try that technique on mine because I'm not really too worried about doing it, and I think I'll be okay. I don't think we'll damage anything because none of the caps have leaks on mine. Anyway, enough waffle about that. Yeah, so I stuck a sticker on here as well. You can just about see that. It's not very well cut out. It's just to say it was recapped and when, because this didn't come with anything to when it had been recapped. So that will go back to Tom. We'll test that in a minute. I think we'll test that after with the TF330. We'll test that after we've had a look at that Cumana disk drive. So I'll show you what that disk drive is doing just before, you know, as a recap, and I'll bring the Mac over as well, because it's only going to take a minute to do that, just to show you how it's behaving. And then we'll fly back over there with Commodore and try and take the Cumana to pieces. I think I've got recollections of having gone in this before. I think it was me that made the little marks on it actually. So, yeah, it was probably me that made those marks. I've got some spudgy tools, the sort of things used for getting into iPads and iPhones and things like that. So we'll give that a try. So if I switch this on and I point you at the screen. Crazy angle on the camera again there. So just give that a second to boot up. There's a disk in drive at the moment. Let's just see what else. Let's twist again like we did last summer. Yeah. Smooth NJ, you know what was inside a massive electric shock? I missed something there. I'm not really sure where the massive electric shock was. So this is the A board. As you can see, the mouse is working, everything's working. Oh, look at that now. This is the weird thing with this. It's intermittent. You can see there, A2091 install. It is actually reading. I've just remembered actually, when I tested this last time, it was last night I think, what I found is, if I just eject that now, cancel, when you put it in there, that's when it doesn't always, hang on, why do I have to replace it? Stupid thing. So we close that. It's like you've got to replace it for it to... It's working now. It's working now. And nevertheless, it does need a clean, because what I found is I had to put the disc in and out, in and out, in and out, and then it started working. And then I tried it again, and then it didn't. And then it did, and then it didn't. So it's hit and miss. Right now, I think it's working. But we need to go in there. It needs a service. That is what it is. It's can even be dirty switches, you know, the actual disc detection switch or whatever. But that does seem to be working now, strangely enough. And just for the record, the other thing I would point out, whilst it's working now, the reason though it is the drive and not the Amiga, I did obviously test both these drives on the other board, and I found exactly the same thing. That this was at that point intermittent. You'd have to do this, put it in, and it'd go did it, wouldn't read anything. You put it back in again, and then it would start to read the the file allocation table on there. Okay. Right now it is working. Anyway, we'll clean it up nevertheless. So let's switch that off. There's been quite a few other things that have happened along the way. I'm just trying to remind myself of what they were. Things that I've done and stuff, because I always forget to mention lots of things. Anyway, let's take that drive over the other side of the room. I'll collect the Mac on the way as well. I'm going to end up dropping something here. So, having, like I say, reminding myself, I think I've been in this before. I think it was me that did it when I first got it, but it was a long time ago, probably about 10 years ago now, I think. I got this drive with my 1200. It was well before my channel started. And back then, yeah, I think I just worked it out. But to just remind myself, I did a quick search just now on, as most people will do, YouTube, Cumana disk drive, how do you open it? Error42 has got a video actually on the same thing, and he used spudgy tools. I think last time I went in this, I probably used that flat blade. I wouldn't be surprised. That's the sort of thing I would probably go to. But anyway, if I just open this, I've got some of these little tools used for getting into phones and things here. Little picks and things like that. Looks like a guitar pick, doesn't it? So we'll just see if we can use these to get inside it. So I'm not really sure the best place to start. I'll admit I wasn't really watching that video from Error42 for very long. I just watched it midway and I could see him spudging it, so I was like, that must be how I did it. Now, there's no... I just wonder if you press it. Yeah, if you press it and pull there. Yeah, can you see that? Press it and pull there, look, you can get a little gap. The big problem is trying to do it all at the same time. It's not going to be easy. Let's see if I can point the camera downwards a little bit. That'll make it a bit easier so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can pull this away a little bit here. I've cut my nails now as well, so I haven't got nails, which is... going to make this difficult, I think. I wonder if I ended up using a knife previously. I don't know. Yeah, it's like you need something sharp in there to get like an entry point, if that makes sense. No, it's coming out, look. Whose idea was it to design it this way? Seriously. Let's just leave. Let's try with this. Because then we can slide this along, can't we? There we go. Yeah, did you hear that snap apart? And it's not broken, it's just literally unclipped. So that's that bit done. The problem with things like this, and you'll know this firsthand if you've done similar things, is they clip back together when you let go. You know, you've got to kind of keep pulling a specific part all the while, or it will just unclip itself. It's like here now, I'm not really sure how to get around this bit. I can see it now, gadget breaks the Commodore drive on stream. It's like that bit there needs to come away, doesn't it? And I can't really tell which way it goes. Does it go? Does this bit come up or does it go down? Oh, good God. There we go. Nice reassuring snapping noise. Nothing's broken, don't worry. So this side is seemingly impenetrable. If you look at that, there's a little mark there where clearly I did it in the past. So again, we'll try and start up here. Oh, hang on, I want to make sure the bottom bit doesn't go back together either. Oh, there we are. Sort of there. We're nearly there. Tongue at the right angle. Right, so we've got the same issue again here now, haven't we? Where these are kind of opposing each other. And I forget already which way I bent it. I think it was that bit goes upwards. Does it? Oh, there we go. There's the end of my pick. That's stuck in there now, for good measure. Can you see that? Tell you, I'd like to meet the person who designed this. Let's try and get that in there. Oh my goodness. Bennett. There you go, that's how you do it. It's easy. It's easy. So nothing's broken. We haven't broken any bits off. You can see, you know, we've got big clips. You know, there's like massive clips here like this. So yeah, the whole thing is clipped together. So let's just carefully flip it over. So it's Citizen OSDC 29C. So yeah, someone was asking me about those that GAL on the board. You know, can you dump that GAL? You can't easily dump GALs like that. What you can. What you have to do is you have to literally probe the pins on it. You have to try and work out what the inputs and outputs are. I mean, you could obviously try and reverse it just by looking at how it's wired on the board. But assuming you don't really know what that GAL's doing, you need to work out which pins are the inputs and the outputs. And there's probably ways of doing that. And then using, you know, a little rig you could manufacture yourself. You could literally, I don't know, wire it to a parallel port or something similar. And you could literally look at all the different combinations of, you know, depending on what you put, what you put into the inputs, what you're getting as outputs, and you could more or less like reverse engineer it that way to work out what it's doing. But the other thing I suggested to that chap as well is look at something like this, another drive that's got standard logic. Because can you see this? It's got a 74LS175 and a 74LS38. That's an AND, isn't it? I don't know what a 175 is, but you've got an AND and something else. So that's going to be the same. That of this single GAL at the board is going to be replicating whatever those are doing, pretty much. There's no difference, because this has got a similar thing here, a switch to decide whether it's which IDE it is, and that's it. It's the same. It's going to be exactly the same. That's something else I've just remembered. You can see there's a grommet here. That drive we were looking at before, there was like a black cable, and you could just pull and push it. It was free. So I put a cable tie on the inside before I reassembled it and did it super tight, so that when you pull the cable, it sticks like that, so you can't pull the wires off. Strictly speaking, it could do with something on the other side as well, because you could still push it and pull it, and then ultimately that could break the connections off. Anyway, that's that. Let's move that out of the way. Let's have a look at this drive. Let's just get this top off it. Let's just catch up with the chat a sec. So Stephen Leary's joined there. See, just back there. Yeah, hello. Anybody else who's joined? Good afternoon. Amiga Wolf, yeah, I can see it's very easy. Yeah, that's what I was being sarcastic when I said it's really easy. I was being sarcastic because it wasn't. I mean, for one thing, my pick's lost a thing, hasn't it? Its bit's gone off the end now. I mean, it's only the tip of it, but nonetheless, it's annoying when that happens. But those picks never generally get used for very much anyway, do they? You do one iPhone with them, you change the batteries or something on the screen, and then they never get used again. So for things like this, I just put them all in a thing like this, and they just get, you know, used periodically on things like this. So we'll start by just cleaning off all the stuff on the rail and stuff here. I got the feeling if I've been in this before, I'll have oiled it. It would have had oil. You know what? I've changed my technique. I was used to do that back in the day, but I think some grease is better. Either lithium grease or that molly coat. I keep calling it molly cots. It's not. I think it's called molly coat. So let's just wheel that there. You can see, look, a big chunk of something there. Look, fluff and grease. Some people go to town if there's a lot of grease on there. You can get a toothbrush. You can actually toothbrush the thing there. But anyway, we can get most of it off this way, I think. It's looking pretty black, that look. Hope you're feeling a bit better, Stephen. I saw your post before saying you weren't feeling very well and trying to find the energy and motivation to try and do some videos yourself. I do hope you can do that at some point, even if it is just a waffle stream where we see some stuff running on the 1260 or something. Yeah, I love that kind of thing, just going in and out of games and demos and chatting away, and I think that's what people like. There's nothing particularly exciting about my streams here, is there? What people think, the reason some people like to come and watch them is to chat to all you guys. You know, you can all chat about things as things are going on, and, you know, not just what's going on, but what you're doing and other things and stuff. It's that's one of the things good about live streams. That's what I like about joining other people's live streams. Right, let's just clean the heads, I think. See if we can have a closer look. This is one of these ones where you can lift it a long way like that, so it just makes them so much easier. Sometimes you lift them just like a little bit like that and it won't go any further. This one I can lift it quite a long way, so we can have easy access to the thing there. And we'll do the same thing with the top head there. We can. I'm not pressing too much because I don't want to bend it out of alignment. I'm going to press it like this here, put some pressure there while I do it, make it squeak. Yeah, very little dirt come off that. So the other thing I'll just do here, if I can see the thing, can't even see it now. Oh yeah, there's a rail right down there, isn't there? So if we just wheel the carriage, which way is it? That way. Try and do it with my finger. There you go. We'll just get some mollycut in there. If I can find it. Oh, it's gone now. Where has it gone? Got it. Oh, thank you for that donation. Wonderful. Sean Connolly. Very, very much appreciated. As I always say, I don't really expect these donations when I do these streams, but it's wonderful when someone does donate something. It just helps out with all sorts of things, you know, parts and consumables. I mentioned yesterday my flux is getting low, so I do need to order some more flux. That's going to pay for that new flux now. So thank you very much for that, Sean. Much appreciated. Amiga Wolf, yeah, you will not use them much. I only have metal ones. I've missed a point there, hang on. Oh, spudgers he's talking about. Yeah, you can get metal spudgers, that's a good point. And that's probably a good investment. If you're going to get spudgers, get the proper metal ones, because they're going to be longer lasting, aren't they? They're not going to break the first few times you use them. Because the fact one we just used, when it broke, I'm pretty sure that will be the first time I've ever used that one. They are made of really cheap plastic. So let's just get a bit more of that moly coat. You can see it there, because someone's bound to ask me. And I get some of these tips and things off my mate Vince, actually, because I noticed that watching his videos, he's very meticulous in showing what he's using, because he knows in advance from experience people are going to start going, what's that stuff you use? What's IPA? What's that oil? What's that grease? Whatever. And I get that, actually, and it kind of does drive you to despair when people keep asking the same things. And it's only because I haven't been clear on it. They wouldn't need to ask if I'd been clear. So, yeah, I'm just trying to get better at remembering to mention some of these things. Anyway, a bit of grease on there. We've got a bit of grease on that. We can let the thing go back there itself in a minute and maybe head exercise it in sys tests or something. The other thing I was going to do is just get a bit of contact cleaner into the switch or the switches down there. You can just about see the two switches. I'm trying to work out the easiest way of doing it. Probably going to be to take the front off, actually. Let me just see if I can unclip it. So it looks like that goes up over there, doesn't it? And then this sort of comes over there. These are those ones you can easily break. There we go. Just do the bottom ones, I think. Yeah, if you do the bottom ones and then hinge it like that, you can see. If you tried to do both, you would break one of them off. So yeah, it just makes it a little bit easier just to get down there, doesn't it? I could also just pull this flap off here, look, I think. Being careful not to lose the spring. Yeah, there we go. So it's super easy to just get down there now, isn't it? Terrible fire. Plastic spudgers don't scratch things as much. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll show you, and I've talked about it before, technique of dealing with little marks and things. We can it might not work very well, but we can try it nonetheless. I can't find my normal contact cleaner just at the moment, so I'm just going to go for this a tiny bit of WD-40. It's just as good. So we'll just get a little spray like that. One of the things people will tell you about WD-40 is it's a solvent, so you shouldn't really use it with plastics, but it'll be fine. Be fine for something like that. And just do a bit of that just to get it in there. So if there was a problem with that switch, hopefully it should be no more problem. I think the general cleanliness of that drive is alright, actually. I do remember going in this before, but it's a long time ago. So let's get this thing back on. So that little spring thing needs to go into there like that, and then want to get one side through its little flap here, straighten it, and then the other one down here, I think. Can't see where that goes now. Is that in? Nope, that's not in, is it? Ah, I see, must be go in there. Like that, that's it. If we just test that now. Yeah, there we go. And get this piece back on. So it's going to be the inverse now, isn't it? It's going to be stick it on the top like that on both sides. And then just sort of pull it over. Sorry, you can't see, can you? Pull it over the thing there, and then pull it over the thing there. Yeah, that looks alright, I think. Hang on. Yeah, that bit there wasn't clipped in. You could see that. The button was kind of hindering it, but that seems okay. So let's get the lid back on. What I'll do is I'll test it exposed like this, you know, reassemble, but without the lid on. Before... What's that there? Can you see that bend? Have I just done that? No, I haven't done that. I don't know how that's happened. Can you see that? Because you would need some force to do that. Maybe it's from spudging it apart. I don't know. That's a little mysterious, isn't it? Let's just straighten that out a little bit. Yeah, that's really weird. I'm not really sure what's happened to that. Anyway, it's fairly straight, that. You can see it's got a little bit of a twist in it, but it's as straight as it's going to get. Because it's not screwed into the other thing either, is it? So that's a bit weird. So which bit's the bottom bit now? That's the top bit. It doesn't have a bottom bit. I'm imagining things. Let's just get that back on. And somehow, well, we can connect this here, can't we? What I like about this is it's not got a cable, has it? It's just got a thing like that, so you just literally line it up and push everything together. That is nice. And which side is the underside? In fact, I've got the greater problem now. Not only which side is the underside, which side's the front and back. I honestly can't remember. Yes, it goes that way. It's got a square flat edge there. This edge is kind of like beveled there. That must be the front. So, and I think that goes on the underside. Could be wrong. So it must align in the back here somehow. Like that, maybe. Don't know. This is where it pays to, yeah, pays to be attentive when you're actually taking it to pieces, so you can remember which way to put it back together. Anyway, that's that. Let's go and give it a try and see if it's still working. Bear in mind, like I say, the reason we do this is it wasn't working yesterday until I swapped the disc a good, I don't know, 10 times or so. Eventually, it did start working. So let's pull this over there, connect it up. Just touch the thing there to ground myself. So I'll connect it up to the back. Just make sure that's all okay. It is. Let's pull this power switch over here out of the way. Switch it on. I'll point you at the screen. We've also got, I'll show you here, the IDE Terminator has arrived actually from Amiga. So we can test that as well in a second. Actually, that'll be interesting to see. Well, from my perspective, it might not be for you. It is for me though. I'm curious to see what difference that makes. So, if I stick a disc in, so this is the A2091 install disc, see what happens. It's not working now. It's ironic, isn't it? I've cleaned up and now I've got the original fault back. I'll show you this. Oh, hang on a minute. There is something wrong. Look, the disk's not coming out. It's a mechanism thing, isn't it? Let's switch it off. We can deal with it here, I think. Let's just disconnect it. Yeah, the disc is sticking in there. I did wonder when I was having the issue whether it was a mechanism. Look, it's done it now. Whether there was some sort of mechanism issue. Because that's the thing. It's like when it sits right in there, that's when it works. When it felt like it did there, where it sort of goes like that, and it doesn't really feel like it's in properly, and you can't eject it. So, I don't know. Maybe this is upside down, the plastic bit. Let's just try it again. Let me tip back up if I can. Yeah, let's just loosely sit it there. Let's see if that's any better. Switch it on again. I had a similar problem to this when I was looking at those some of those Archimedes floppy drives, actually. That if the disk doesn't go in right, and it's Citizen again, the same make, Citizen drives on those, and if the disk doesn't go in properly into the mechanism, you don't get a proper read. It's almost like it's sat too high or too low, so one of the heads doesn't read properly. But that's working now. I'll show you on the screen. So I just need to be really careful about how I reassemble that. If I zoom you a little bit, you can just see here, A2091 install. If I eject it again, that will disappear. Stick it back in again. Amiga Wolf, is that the Amiga 4000 MB? Yes, it is. That's one of the ones from Steve Leary. Someone said the other way around, question mark. I'm not sure what you mean by the way around. It could be the plastic part needs to be the other way around, yeah. But you can see that that's worked again. Let's just try a different disc. Let's stick June in. It should come up saying June 1, if that's working. But I can see now that the disc, each time it goes in, and it goes down, you know, it's not just a case of putting it in the drive and it goes down a little bit, it goes in, it falls right down. And that's making all the difference, I think. Having said that, I'm not sure what's... Oh, there it is. Yeah, June 1. It's just moved the icon across, but that's it. That's working. Let's try that A2091 disc again. Yeah, that's working. So I am a little bit puzzled as to why it had that issue a minute ago. I'm not really clear on what the cause of that was. Because all we did is just pull it out of the plastic thing here and then it suddenly seemed alright, didn't it? So, that's a bit weird. Let's just pull this lid off here again. Just have a quick look on the inside at how the thing drops down. Yeah, it's just like those Archimedes ones where, you know, you have this inner piece here. And as you put the disc in, I can demonstrate that. I think if I can find my disc, what have I just done with that disc? Yeah, you put the disc in, and if you watch this metal piece here, it'll probably go downwards a bit, which it needs to, you know, mate with the bottom head there and the spindle. But it's moving freely. Yeah, on those Archimedes ones, they ended up having to grease some of the things around here, but there were some plastic fittings and things, whereas this one's certainly much freer. No issues at all. So let's try and get the plastic piece back on. Yeah, so I don't remember seeing that bit on the top. I think this is the bottom, actually. What is confusing is there's nothing specific here that gives you any clues to how the fascia. You know, you've got like a double lip here. Can you see this like rim? It's a gap, but nothing actually goes into it, unless it does go that way around. Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe it goes that way around. There you go. I'm being stupid. Yeah, that is for that there. I think that's why someone said, is it the wrong way around? That might be why the disc wasn't going in properly. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was assembled the wrong way before, but yeah, that's right, because if you look at the front now, can you see the aesthetics here? This joins the front part here really well, so that's definitely the right way. I'll show you what I was going to show you there, actually, in terms of how you can deal with roughed plastic edges like that. This is not a new technique. I've shown it before on a few videos, I'm sure. But where you get, you see like here, see if I can get that to focus. Can you see here it's just a bit bumpy there because it's been levered at that point. If you sort of press something like this here across like that, you can smooth that edge down. You might also need to go like this way. It's about putting pressure on it at the right angle with something metallic, you know, screwdriver or something. But if you do that, you know, spend some time doing that, you can get these things to go back together and it looks like they've never been apart if you do it right. Yeah, there's a little mark there. That side similar. You can see it's got a similar mark there. Yeah, sorry, I know we're very close. Let's just try, press that bit back down. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's just see what this bit's like. Yeah, there's lots of marks on this bit. See here. So just see if we can improve that somewhat. I don't know. Might make it worse, but generally, if you do this right, it can only usually make things look better. You know, can you see that? That's not too bad there. You know, it's not sticky outy here. It's got a really nice flush profile, and that's what you're aiming for. But you could also do the same in this sort of angle here. You know, if it's still not right. Yeah, that side's not bad now. Let's have a look around that side. So look, there's a sticky out bit there. Can you see that? Not that visible. I'll catch up with the chat in a sec, guys. Sorry, I'm a bit distant at the moment in terms of I'm just focused on what I'm doing. Let's just try and smooth it down this way. Just try and rotate the thing around this like this. I mean, what you're doing is you're undoing the thing you've done. If you've bent it a certain way, what you're doing is bending it back. That's ultimately how this technique works. And because the plastic's pretty malleable, 99 times out of 100, you'll be amazed at what you can do. Can you see that? That's almost gone back to normal there. It's going to look better now than it did before I went into it, probably. Anyway, let's just get the lid back on here, like this. In fact, let's just test it again. That's nearly a fatal mistake, isn't it? After you've messed around with something like that, before you get the lid back on, you know that it's going to be a problem to go back inside it. Yeah, don't commit to that. So let's just see if that works. I'll catch up with the chat while it's booting again. Neil Marshall, other way around. Yeah, there we go. So sorry, I'm rereading old comments here, aren't I? Amiga Wolf, I recommend the Critical Drinker for Glaswegian anti-SJW youth. Hi Paul Turner, hi Graham Sybil, Andrew Clegg. I'm 40 minutes late, but better late than the day. Yeah, so let's just try that. I'm going to stick the lid on. Yeah. But you can see, you know, it clicked in nicely. When I did it that first time there, after just having cleaned it up, the disc wasn't going in right, for whatever reason. It's working fine. It's the third time lucky, just to make sure. Yeah. So, power it off again. I'll just clip this on. I'll unplug it so you can perhaps better see how it clips back together. So again, angled parts. Hang on. Oh, there's two ways of. Oh, it's that way. Yeah. Going to get these bits here towards the front and go with the fascia. You know. And it's going to be a case of getting one side on. Yeah, this is not going to be easy, is it? Yeah, one side on, and if you do it kind of diagonally, you can see that. Can you see got an overlap at the bottom, and we've got an overlap there at the top. If you kind of do it diagonally, then you can kind of push that one side into position like that, I think. Yeah, so you can see that that's straight on, and then the difficult bit is going to be this side here. I think this is how that metal part got bent before, if I'm honest. It must be. So this has got to go over here like that. And then, is it just push it back together? I think it is. Get rid of the big snap. Yeah, so you can still see a little bit of an imperfection there, but that does look better than it did. Hang on, this side's not clipped back together properly, is it? Oh, now it is. And again, it kind of looks better on this side as well, look. I think it looks better now than it did before. Maybe that side's the worst. Anyway, there we go. So I'll show you the IDE Terminator next, then we'll just quickly move over to the A330 on the CD32 to see if that will boot from hard disk and stuff, and load a few games up or something on that just to see if that's working. I guess the other useful thing I can show you with this as well here, I talked about it yesterday, I didn't demonstrate it, so let's demonstrate it. Stick June in. Yeah, so the jumpers here, if I switch this off, you can set it so that DF0 from the CIA, you know, for your drive select 0, comes out to here, to the point where it would normally go to DF3. You just change that jumper over. So if we change that jumper over, I also gave that jumper a good squash following the last stream as well. Not on this board, because it was on the other board actually. There was the problem with that, because it wasn't still making a very good connection. It was the jumper ultimately. You could just replace it, you know. But as you can see, now I've changed that over. It's now booting from the external drive there. So that's really nice. I love the way that Commodore thought ahead and added that feature into the 4000 there. So you could easily just, you know, boot from an external drive. It's really handy if your internal drive stops working, or, you know, you get dirty heads or whatever. It's from a convenience point of view. Really nice. You can see that's it's loading up okay. No worries. Yeah, wobble cam at the moment. Anyway, switch that off. So the other thing I was going to just quickly try with this board is this Terminator, and it's, as I said, I think I'm right. I think it is D0 and D1 get pulled to ground. I'm trying to see where it is now. Where's pin 1? So pin 1's markings here in this top corner. You've got a resistor array here, so they're just using 2 of the resistors from there. And if you follow the traces, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it very well, but they come up to the 2 pins. Hang on, can't see where they go now. Yeah, the 2 pins here, the second pin and that third pin there. And if you look at the pin out, I'm sure those are D0 and D1. So all they're doing is pulling D0 and D1 to ground a 4K7 resistor. So I mean, it's easy to make one of these yourself. That was about £5 from Amiga kit. So yeah, if you're thinking of ways to make money, you could get some of those manufactured and sell them yourself, because there's obviously profit to be made in these. If they're selling them for £5, you start selling them at £2.99 or something, you're going to make almost a couple of quid profit, or maybe £1 profit easily. Anyway, I'm not trying to talk people into undercutting Amiga kit. I just think that £5 for that is a bit of a rip-off, if I'm honest. So you can see now we've got no drive connected. So if I point you to the screen, we'll just try it without it. I'll tell you what version this is. This is Kickstart 3.1. So this is, and again, information passed on to me from Terrible Fire and a few other people, because I wasn't aware, but with 3.1 you get different delay before it will come up with the, you know, sticky disk in screen. Kickstart 3 is a lot less, I think, shorter. Could be wrong, it could be longer. We'll soon find out, because we could try on that board as well just to see the difference. I'm not going to count and time and stuff. You could do that if you wanted to. But what we're interested in here is seeing how long it takes to bring up the sticky disk in screen when you've got no drives connected there, or no IDE drive. And then we'll plug this thing on. You can hear it's booting from the floppy now. There you go. So it waited that long. So let's try that with the thing on, Terminator on. So if I just point you back down here. Going to need to go back over there in a minute because the camera's going to go flat if I'm not careful. So I need to carefully get that aligned. Easier said than done. There we go. Push it on and make sure it's on properly. It is. Switch it on again. Look at the difference there. Look how long. That was no time at all. Switch it off and on. Watch. It goes, look for a drive now, there isn't one. That's brilliant. That is just amazing, the difference. And again, if I take that dongle off, well, it's not with the dongle, but take the Terminator off, easier said than done, really difficult to get off. There we go, try it again. So it's not on now. Yeah, and as you can see, it's taken ages again. Yeah, switch it off. So that definitely works. There's a definite difference there. And it's useful if you wanted to make one of these yourself. You don't even need to go to this extreme. If you wanted to make your motherboard behave that way, you could literally just put 4K7, you know, from D0 and D1 to ground on the underside of your board. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's the sort of thing you could do very easily yourself. So I'll just disconnect this and we'll bring over the other board, the CD32. Come on, damn thing. So I'll just carefully move that out of the way. Let's bring over the CD32. So we need power. In fact, before we connect power, let's have a look at this. So this is the adapter. I'm probably going to be getting off soon, by the way. Well, perhaps I'll do some questions and answers or something for a few minutes or something. I'll catch up with things, but yeah, I ain't got a lot to show you today. We'll connect this up. This is the one I built in a previous video. It's been sat in a box collecting dust. Yesterday I had to spend 10 or 20 minutes cleaning this up because it got so dusty. Because it's been waiting for the person who won it to contact me. So I've contacted him multiple times now. It's been 6 or 7 months, so it's like I'll give him another month, and I'm only going to accept him contacting me through YouTube with a proper account that he originally entered via. Because before anybody gets genius ideas of going and creating fake accounts, you same name as the person and contacts me by Twitter going, I've lost my YouTube account, I'm not going to believe you. Yeah, so if he contacts me through YouTube with the same account I've contacted him on already, if he does get back to me, then it's his. But if he doesn't, what's the date today? Let's say a month from now. So I don't know what the date is. Is it the 18th or something, or 17th? I don't know. I've lost track of days. Does anyone know what the date is? It's, I can't even see on the Mac. The Mac doesn't even show me the date. Yeah. Anyway, a month, 17th. Thank you for that. So the 17th of May. If he hasn't got back to me on the 17th of May, I'm going to do a repeat of that draw using the remaining names, you know, for the people who previously entered it. Yeah, power supply's off at the moment, so I'll connect the video up. This is the other nice thing with using the TF330 here. Not only do we get the 030 and the hard disk and the 64 meg, but we also get the video out there as well, you know, the RGB. So switch it on, just making sure I don't got anything silly going on with the connections and things there. Nope. And point you up here. Yeah, we don't need to be zoomed that much. I'm not sure why it decided to zoom so much. Is that booting? I'm not sure what that's doing now. Switch it off again. Let me just reseat it. I'm not sure it's seated properly. Just put the compact flash card in again. Try that again. Yeah, I saw a flash on the hard disk there, so just connecting a mouse, it's booting up. Daniel Summers said Kickstart 3.1 takes longer to allow for hard drives to spin up. Yeah, but you can see what happened when I used the Terminator there. Even though we were using Kickstart 3.1, it gave up after about a second, didn't it, or so. It was very, very quick. So those Terminators work really well. But you can see there, and I'll just show you. There's no trickery here. This is the CD32 with the TF330 there. I think what I might do is just swap the compact flash card over because I don't like that compact flash card. It's okay, it's just not got, and incidentally that's the one that's been given away with it. This other one here, it's just got a different interface. It's the one you may have seen when I looked at the 4000s actually, because this is the build. Hang on, I can't get the compact flash in. Yeah, let's try that. Switch it on. Where's the power? There we go. Yeah, this is just another build that I got from Super Duper, which has helped me out big time on these boards. And it's set up a little bit better. It's got a few more things on there, like Doom and stuff like that. I can show you that actually. You can see Doom running on this. I'll just connect the joystick up because it's. Hang on, is that booting again now? What's going on with that now? It's not doing anything, that is it? Switch it off again. I'm not sure if it's the compact. Let's try that. I'm not sure if it's the compact flash card not very well sat in there. Yeah, there we go. It's flashing now. It's the compact flash adapter. I just had to stick it back in again. That's all. It wasn't making a good connection. Someone said, "Can you put a floppy drive on the CD32?" Yes, you can. Although you need the correct connections for it. You know, you can't just connect one to any CD32. Someone said there, yeah, the SX32, SX32/Pro. You can do it on that. Anyway, you can see that's booted okay. We've got 64 megabytes of fast RAM there. Let's load Doom, I think. There's a few games folders. Yeah, that's the A to Z one. It's not that one. It's the other one, Games 1. Yeah, there's Doom. I mean, you could argue that the point Stephen did this on the, got the TF330 working, that none of us really needed anything else, really. I mean, all right, the 060s are very appealing, but like this is, it makes the CD32 the perfect Amiga, really. You've got your hard disk, you've got your RAM, you've got your 030, and it runs at 50 megahertz, which is just incredible. We do low-res NTS Siege link on that, 60 seconds, isn't it? So I think, yeah, this is set up with a dual control scheme, so it'll be joystick and mouse. But you can just get a feel for how fast it is. Just realised sound's not connected, I'll just plug sound in. There's no music on Doom, is there, on this? There isn't obviously the PC version, but should have sound. Yeah, we've got sound. Let's turn up a little bit. Yeah, so you can just get a feel for how well it runs on the 030. Yeah, 030 run at 50 on a CD32. It's not easy to control, but you can see it runs pretty blooming good. I mean, it's obviously pretty well maximised on the screen size. The other thing with this version of Doom, it's that free look one where you can look up and down look as well. So yeah, very cool. It might look more jerky to you than it does here to the naked eye, probably because I have noticed that when I've been doing these streams, just occasionally, YouTube seems to, I don't know, throttle back not just the, on the compression, so it's really blocky, but I've noticed some weird things with the frame rate as well, actually, on these live streams. Maybe my camera's just not up to the job. Sweet. Yeah, you'd think you were playing that on a 486DX33 or a DX266 or something. It's perhaps not quite as fluid as it would be on a DX266 with a decent graphics card. But the other thing with this, obviously, this port of Doom, it supports different display modes there. So if you've got the right hardware, you could get even more out of it. You know, if you're one of those RTG cards or something, I'm sure there's going to be an RTG mode, which... Hello, yeah, it's went flat again. It's the consequence of me doing them impromptu and not planning and just spending too long over the side of the room. I was planning on getting off soon anyway. I'm not sure where I got cut off there. Hopefully it doesn't go again. It's plugged in now, so it shouldn't lose power. The point I was going to make there is, last try, I've got it on low power everything now, so if it goes again, I will be back tomorrow or another day. But let's just see. Yeah, low power mode might just help because I can see that the display is super dim now, so maybe it will be able to charge faster than it is actually consuming power. Maybe not. Let's just see. So thank you very much for that donation there, Sean Connolly. I felt like I had to come back just because of that. Really? Someone needs more than 50p. Spinning circle of doom. Yeah, let's just try a few of the games then. Anyone got any suggestions for games that I can use with the mouse? That's the thing, I've not got a keyboard connected just now, so starting them is a bit problematic. I mean, I can connect my keyboard up, I guess, and go and get it. What's that game called? Walker. Let's try that. I think you can use a mouse with that, can't you? But you might need to press something to start it. Walker Decrunch, the Decrunch version. There's a no speech version. Quite why you would want the no speech version, I don't know. So I can just reposition that slightly. DMA design. Played this game loads when I was a kid. This is another one where you use joystick and mouse, isn't it? Yeah, look, I need to press a key, I think. Or is it going to start? It's doing something. Ah, it's working. Very cool. Yeah, so use the mouse to aim and the joystick to walk. You've got gun temperature to contend with. It's a very cool game. Totally inspired by Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, isn't it? Scout Walkers. I'm not sure if you get special weapons either. Yeah, you do. Lock on. It gets incredibly difficult though, the further you get into the game. I'm not sure what that lock-on does. I'm not sure if you can take those down or if you just got to avoid the bombs. Overheated the gun, didn't I? Those sneaky guys there. Sniping. Aerial targets. Great time, played a lot with my father when I was a kid. Fantastic game. Very cool. I love the sound effects and stuff. There's so many samples and stuff. One of the diagnosis games, this as well, isn't it? Let's just try something else. But anyway, I think that CD32 is fine. The only thing we're not testing here, obviously, is the drive. You know, I've not got an optical drive I can easily plug into this to test it. I've got my own CD32, but I really don't want to take my CD32 to bits just to test that. I think it's safe to assume that it's probably going to be okay in terms of, you know, me having done the recap. So listen, can you not use a power bank alongside the battery? Yes, I just need to get one. I don't really use power banks myself, I've never needed one, but having started doing these streams a week ago now, you'd think I'd have ordered something in advance, but I thought it was on top of the whole battery charge thing. As long as my phone is charging before I start, there generally isn't an issue. The big problem is before I start today, I've been doing all sorts of things around the house. You know, I washed the cars, doing the washing up. And my phone's not been charged since last night, so it was down to about 20 or 30% before we started, and we didn't spend much time over there when it was on charge over on the mat. As soon as we come over here, I've had to, I'll show you, I had to bring the extension. When it went off before, I had to bring the extension over here and plug it back in. But then comes the problem that it consumes power faster than it charges. But I think I've dealt with that by dimming the screen, putting it on low display mode, you know. I can hardly see the screen on it at the moment, but it's seemingly charging up, so. Yeah, hang on, just comment there. Yeah, I used aluminium electrolytic capacitors from Rubicon that have 115 degrees, 6,000 to 10,000 hours for the PSU on a C128. Yeah, that's something to consider actually. When you're looking at different capacitors from different manufacturers, you know, you need to look at, go look at branded ones, look at the specs for them, how many hours they're generally rated for. It's not something that people tend to think about, is it? They just say, people generally just go, get good high ESR caps or low ESR caps, etc. It's all about the number of hours you can get out of them, as well as the temperature, maximum temperature ratings and things as well. Let's just go into there again. No, is that? Yeah, that's the A to Z, isn't it? What else have we got? Trying to again think of things I can use with the mouse. See if Star Wars is on there. It's a while since I played that on the Amiga. Why are they all overlapped on top of each other? What's going on there? Still overlapped, aren't they, in places? Sometimes when you're trying to look for things in here, you know what? It's easy to do view by name. Hang on, by text. What's that? View by text. That's really weird. I don't remember seeing that before. Oh, messed that up. I'm in there. I can't get it back. What have I done to that? Let's go back in there again. Oh. Hopefully it's reset back to as it was. No, it hasn't, has it? How do I change that back? Does anybody know? It's like now I've somehow changed that and I can't. What's that one do? I know it's gone. I've messed up the S folder permanently. I don't know what version of Workbench this is. It's got like, is it classic or something? It's got some weird things plugged in. It's like, I don't like all these plug-in things. It's like, just leave it stock. Because now it's like, I don't know what I'm doing with that now. I don't know how to get the thing of folders back. Is anyone still watching, by the way? I'm not even sure if I'm still going here. I think I am. Yeah, I am not sure what has happened to that folder. Because if I right click now, there's no view. Where's view gone? What's browse do? I managed to kill it then by choosing shell or browse or something, I don't know. Let's just power cycle that. There's nobody here but us chickens. Does anybody know what that issue is there? What that plugin is or whatever? Is this classic Workbench, this build? I don't know. What I do know is I only like vanilla Workbench. As soon as I start looking at other versions of Workbench like this, where someone's tinkered with it and played around with it, it just becomes an absolute chore trying to do basic things that you know how to do on normal Workbench. I mean, all I did there was choose view and the view as text, and it messed it up totally. Thank God that's reset. I'm glad it didn't save it that way. Yes, you're still going, Chris. Hi, Morgan, Jamie Morgan just Games. Jamie, are you doing a live stream tonight? I'll be looking forward to watching that if you are. Is it, what is it? C64 or Amiga? So let's try that again. Window. See, it's not view all files. It's not that. It should be view by name. Why does it say view by text? What's that all about? And there's usually like show all files. We've got view all files. Let's do that. View by text. That's going to make them all disappear again. Look. See, where are they all? Hang on. Ah, it's something to do with the display set, isn't it? Look, we can. Yeah, you can't see the blooming text. Look. Scroll this right down here. This has nothing to do with the CD32. I've seen this before when I've used this before. Look at that. Scroll down, then it's all right. What's that all about? Syndicate. That's a good game. What I was looking for was Star Wars. Who knew it was going to take this long to try and find it? There it is, Star Wars. Why is it just the info file? Where's the folder gone? What is going on? What is it? I can't get back as it was now. Oh, give up. Give up. Is there an Empire Strikes Back on this? Let's try and find that. Might have more luck. There it is, Empire Strikes Back. Found it straight away. Finding anything in S and WX deload is a nightmare. Yeah, tell me about it. It's probably because there's so many of them. It's such a common letter, isn't it? Start so many games begin with S. Yeah, you started without a keyboard. That's what I like to see. So it's super fast. It's a bit loud, that, isn't it? Let's just turn that down a bit. It's perhaps just a bit too fast on an 05, you know, a 50 MHz 030. Yeah, Jedi bonus there. You've got to get a letter for each round, haven't you? That you can get one of the letters there on each wave. Not really wave, each round is different. Is it Walker's next? I'm sure we did Walker's, wasn't it? Yeah, that should be the next wave, I think. Or is it? Hang on, you've got to get 4 of these, haven't you? You've got to get 4 of those things there before this round ends. It's best to just let them do the transmissions there, and then it ends and you get to the next bit. Once you've got the letter, there's just no point unless you're trying to go for score. Surprised them not lost our bloody shields yet. Yeah, there we go. Walker, isn't it? Three tow cables remaining. I loved this game as a kid. And the film, I still do. I've missed that, haven't I? No, I haven't got that one. Got that one, I think. Yeah. Might have missed that one. Sweet.
I want that ship.
I never played Empire Strikes Back in the arcade, but I did play Star Wars. I think we went to Butlins at the time. It was like a very early family holiday that I remember. And it might have been either Skegness or I don't know, somewhere like that. In fact, it wasn't. Or is Skegness near the seafront? It's wherever there's a seafront there. And I went to an arcade there with my dad, and give me a few pounds or something, let me go on a bunch of arcade machines, and I came across, the first time I've ever seen it, the Star Wars sit-down cabinet. And I tell you what, I was just blown away, absolutely blown away. I played it really well as well. As like on the first go, I destroyed the Death Star on the first go, which was, yeah, amazing. I had lots of people around me. I was only young at the time, about 8 or something, or 9, I don't know. Anyway, it's working really, really well. I could play on this all blooming night now, but it doesn't make good watching, does it? So I think I'm going to get off in a sec, guys. You got any questions or anything before I get off? Anything you want to mention or whatever that I might have missed? Someone said try Apidia, music is great. Let's just load that when this boots then, because this should work on here, I think. Well, it should work on the 4000 as well, actually. In fact, it does, because I was playing Apidia on the 4000 yesterday, on the board I was going to send back to Stephen, actually. I think you can start that with the keyboard as well, so I might just be able to have a quick go of Apidia, because I've got the arcade stick connected up. I played it much better that way compared to when I tried out that live stream a while back when we were testing Cather's A4000. The problem I had there is I was feeding the video through a capture device, so the latency was absolutely awful. There we go, fire. Someone said, did you find a riser? Stephen said, did you find a riser for your board? No, I didn't. Not found one yet. You mentioned that Chucky might have had one. He's not said anything to me, so I don't know if he wants to sell me one or what. Jamie Morgan's played this all the way to the end, I think. I don't know how he did it on his channel. Do you collect those mushrooms? What do you do with those when they fire out? Those? I don't know. Oh, I just crashed into it. Too busy watching the little mushrooms fire out of it. It's made me grow, look. What's that all about? I've got a shield. Those wasps are a bit hard. Look at that. Take loads of shots. I need a power up. Oh. Yeah, incredibly hard game. What I don't like about this game is you can even crash into the floor down here. It's like it's not hard enough with things being thrown at you, impossible wasps that take about 10 shots each to kill. But not only that, you can crash into the ground as well. It's like, please just don't let me crash into the ground. Well, Chris, you need to get on Twitch. Yeah. I know I've got the new PC. In theory, I could do more gaming streams. If you actually see me playing some of these things like this now, but spending a bit more quality time playing some of them, we can do that, and we can get hopefully some proper captures while I'm doing it. Because I have got a proper setup for that now. But I've just not tested it since I set that new PC up. I've just not tested it to try it yet. But we could perhaps do that at some point as well in the evening, perhaps. Just a gaming stream for an hour or two, just playing a few of my favourite games or something, or some suggested games perhaps. But really, if you want to see people doing a bit better job at that, you want to watch Morgan Just Games, because that's exactly what Jamie Morgan does. And as I say, I think he's doing a stream tonight. I didn't see you reply there earlier, Jamie, but yeah, it's always a joy to watch Jamie's streams. So, if there's no questions or anything, guys, I'm going to get off. I knew it was going to be a short one. Having said that, it's probably been over an hour, hasn't it? So I would say short, and then it's not short, it's always very long. Yeah, there's my arcade stick. That's what I was just using to play that on. So, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for tuning in and stuff. All of your messages and stuff. I'll catch up on anything I've missed. Catch you later. Have a good evening. See you soon.